Hello. Well, today I'm gonna discuss a film I did talk about 5 years ago, so I'm not gonna go super all in on it, but I'm going to talk about a new release of the film. Also, it is May now, and also for the first time, really ever, that these kind of calendars I've had with you know um, Star Wars is Luke actually the big character for May. He's my favorite character in Star Wars, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, the movie today, Network, and as it says here on the back, this media satire, directed by Sidney Lumet from the brilliant, incisive script by Patty Chayefsky, is an X-ray to the corrupted soul of corporate-dominated America. Uh, Startlingly uh, uh, present in its anticipation of today's outrage-driven news cycle. Basically, it just shows how back then, 50 years ago, the media was all in on media that or stories that were not so much fact based, but very sensationalized. Like, here's a shooting, or shootings are going on. Let's go over there and let's talk about that. Here's some footage of it too, and there you go. And it's like, wow, there's in a way a little news. Like, oh, here's the suspect, and here's who did it. You know, at at a struggling television network, ambitious executive Diana Christensen, Faye Dunaway, finds herself with a hit on her hands when disgruntled newscaster Howard Beale, Peter Finch, goes off script, transforming himself into a mad as hell prophet railing against the ills of modern society. But can she control the populist revolution they have unleashed on the airwaves? Garnering four Oscars, including for Dunaway, Finch, and Chayefsky, this whole bar's new Hollywood classic, New Holds Barred New Hollywood classic remains as fiercely funny as it is and nervingly relevant. I know early on I kind of miss this misspoke or mispronounced words. That's more accurate thing. But yeah, basically this film, if you've never watched, it's about a network, obviously, that is going down the tubes, and it gets revitalized thanks to Howard Beale going saying things like, how early on, like he was gonna go and next week on his very last day of his broadcast because he's been fired, he's gonna take a gun out and shoot himself on air, and that'll probably get high ratings. And then the next time he's on air, he goes to apologize and everything, and he says life's bullshit. And when William Holden plays Max, his longtime friend, goes to Max Schumacher, he goes, they're gonna pull him off. He says, "No, keep him off. This is how he wants to go out, and he wants to go out." And then they get calls about it, and from people who want to pull it off the air. And he goes like, "Well, he's saying life's bullshit, and it is. What's the problem?" And then Frank Hackett is played by Robert Duvall, who, rest in peace, obviously passed away this year. He's an executive who approves of Diana's approach of having Howard Beale go all off and rant and rave for the ratings, and it just devolves into from trying to tell the news into, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like this, just it doesn't exactly again, really doesn't matter what's on the news as long as it's sensationalized and gets you to watch. That's what matters. The facts and stuff are kind of irrelevant. Also, in a way, there's a sort of, I guess, bias in the media of sorts for things like that. And there's a whole thing of the media was always biased, but once upon a time they were way better at hiding it, whereas now they just kind of not care. And this is obviously the Criterion release. This is the 4K and Blu-ray. I had have the DVD before, but this presentation is really good. It looks great. It looks fantastic. Same with the Blu-ray, and also all the special features from the previous releases are there, like the commentary and everything. And also, there's a new new documentary about Patty Chayefsky, the writer, as well as another new making of. Or no, that's the old one, 2006 for the 30th anniversary. Obviously, 20 years later, and here it is. I'm as mad as hell. I'm not going to take this anymore. Ned Beatty is in this film as the executive who tells off Beale for basically saying how the parent company of the news station, is going to be bought by a Saudi company, and this acquisition needs to happen because has to happen because they have our money. We're gonna take this deal and we're gonna get our money back. And there's ways of doing that, and this is important, and they're not gonna just have Howard Beale be the one to screw them over and you will atone. If you've seen the film, you know that. Or if you watch Better Call Saul, the very first episode, and Jimmy McGill, when he goes and sees Howard Hamlin at the table, you are meddling with the forces of nature, Mr. Hamlin, and goes on and basically does a very short, condensed version of what he was saying, and he goes, and you will atone. And he says to everybody, it's Ned Beatty from Network. But yeah, this is a very good film. Sidney Lumet, director of many excellent films. 12 Angry Men. He also did Serpico. He also did Dog Day Afternoon. And he did The Verdict. Yeah, I really like The Verdict. Verdict's excellent. But yeah, Patty Chayefsky won Best Original Screenplay. And with the nominees, I don't have an issue with that, really. I mean, Rocky is an excellent script. Stallone did a great job. Looking at the films of '76, it's really great. Though, of course, Taxi Driver was not nominated. Unfortunately, Paul Schrader had to wait until First Reform, film with Ethan Hawke. That's when he first got his first and so far only Academy Award nomination, which is kind of ridiculous. From Taxi Driver to Raging Bull and many other films that he has written and directed that are really good. That you would have thought would have gotten him some sort of recognition before, and also this was the year of Rocky winning Best Picture and Director. Very good film. Network, I think, would have also been good to won those awards also. Of course, I have talked about Taxi Driver being my favorite film before of 1976. And Peter Finch won Best Actor, which I think De Niro should have won. I think that's his best performance, in my opinion, as Travis Bickle. And I'll probably talk about Taxi Driver later on. I don't know if this month, but definitely later this year, maybe sometime this summer if it's not this month. But yeah, he was excellent. But Finch did a good job, though. Also, um, William Holden then lost because they were both nominated for Best Actor. And I've seen some people actually say, in a way, Holden had more screen time, which is true, than Finch. And when watching it one of the last times, I did get the feeling that there's, well, obviously some of the more showier moments went to Finch, his outburst, having his own show, being a prophet and everything, like on the air. He does have showier scenes, but some of the most, like I think, in so many ways, Holden is really the heart of the film. Without him anchoring it, the satire could have possibly have gone wacky without him, because him there at the center kind of really helps balance out some of the insanity going on. Um, um, so in a way, you could say he probably could have been nominated for his supporting actor, which um, Ned Beatty was nominated for Best Supporting Actor for this film. Definitely deserved the nomination. And if, it's also been said, like, had Finch been nominated, this could have been very well the first film to win every acting Oscar category. Faye Dunaway won Best Actress. This is her only Academy Award win. Beatrice Straight won Supporting Actress for 5 minutes. She's only in this for 5 minutes, and she won an Oscar for Supporting Actress as Max's wife, and she does a great job. Um, so if Finch did get nominated, who knows? And you know what? Maybe it would have been where Holden actually didn't win. Could have been, yeah. Maybe De Niro would have won, or maybe Stallone, being an underdog, and Rocky, the film, was an underdog, and it triumphed, becoming a huge hit, winning picture and director and editing. But yeah, and yeah, I watched the Blu-ray last because I was looking at the special features, and then this is the disc for 4K. I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. And of course, you have all those people screaming and repeating that, I'm mad as hell, I'm not going to take this anymore. And then here is the cast. Diana Christensen, Faye Dunaway, Max Schumer, William Holden, Howard Beale, Peter Finch, Frank Hackett, Robert Duvall, Nelson Cheney, Wesley, Addie, Arthur Jensen, Ned Beatty, and Louise Schumacher, Beatrice Straight. Yeah. And yeah, UBS, the corporation that that is their news company. and the Communications Corporation of America. And then there's the Minuscule Liberation Army, which was like a sort of a takeoff of the Black Panthers. They decided to do a show with them on the various things that they do, like like bank robberies and holdups and other violent stuff going on with this group, this communist group. It's a satire at its finest, and but regardless of my thoughts of the wins of this film, of the of the Academy Awards and stuff, and it did deserve some awards. I'm not gonna say it didn't deserve it. It was nominated for like 10 Oscars, but still, had this one Best Picture and Director, that would have been fine. I do like Rocky, so that win was no issue for me. Taxi Driver, my favorite film of the year of 1976. So in that sense, I'm kind of biased in that, De Niro, Best Picture for a Best Actor and Best Picture, and Scorsese to be nominated for Director. I think he should have been for sure. He would have been up. He would have been right to be nominated alongside Sidney Lumet, and John Advilson. Is that the name of the director of Rocky? Now that I've actually said it out loud, I cannot recall. John G. Appleson, yes. So I was right. I just wanted to make sure that I was not misremembering. And then I will put this back there. All right, that didn't all fall on top of me, which is good. But yeah, this restoration of the 4K and the transfer, it all looks great. So if you don't have this, I think you should get it. Of course, if you just want the Blu-ray is optional, or the Blu-ray option is there. And the documentary with Patty Chayefsky is very interesting. Got people talking about him. There's some footage of him talking, and he was quite a guy. And Sidney Lumet was an excellent actor. William Holden, Peter Finch, Faye Dunaway, Beatrice Straight, Ned Beatty, Robert Duvall. Everybody in this film who had a part of it was great. They were all excellent. And if you haven't watched Network, I think you should. It's worth a watch. It's pretty funny and maybe made 50 years ago, but it is very relevant with the way the news is anymore. With sensationalism being more important than getting facts, because I guess, in a way, facts are boring. And if you can't make it where the facts of a story is interesting, then I guess you make up something that is interesting and try to sprinkle in some facts, or you leave some out, perhaps, because what really happened is boring. But if the story is interesting and you leave out all the boring stuff, well, there you go. People are going to watch. And also in 1974, Christine Chubbuck did kill herself on the air, similar to how Howard Beale described, like, to get a gun and shoot himself while on the air. That was in Florida, and it's been said that inspired Chayefsky to make this, though he already had the idea of this story. and it was just an unfortunate coincidence of this idea of this whole thing going on unraveling with the news just corresponds, with the sparks from a guy who's saying he's going to kill himself on the air, corresponding with the death of this woman who was doing the news. And, she didn't want to do blood and guts stuff, as she put it. One of the last things she said, like she wanted to do real journalism and real work, but the network that she worked at was very small, and so needed big stuff, and anything that's violent or terrible, cover that. So, yeah, and there's other factors as to what led her to do that, but it's kind of a coincidence in that regard, and happened around the time that he was shaping up the script. And I say that because that is something that does get brought up a lot, and it's just again a coincidence. Chayefsky, he did hear about it, but again, that idea had been in his mind for a while, and he started to actually craft the story, and then this happened. But he kept going because he thought the idea and story was very interesting and good. And yeah. Anyway, that's something that's happened in real life for sure. That was also kind of a parallel of sorts. Of course, that predated that this film by a couple of years. Yeah, I believe it was 74. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I hope all of you are doing well. Please have a great day. Have a great weekend, and a great week. I hope you will have a great May. Hope the first 4 months, first third of 2026 is going well. So far, it's going pretty good for me, and yeah. Please have a great day, and just do well. So take it easy and have a great weekend, and I'll see you all next time.